There's something there, but I really don't know what it is, and it's really hard to tell if it's going to scale up to better opponents.
I don't see it. I don't see it. When you say I'm not sold, I'm not sold. Okay? And here's why. I'm not saying that Shakur Stevenson is a bad fighter. What I'm saying is that he is good at certain things. And when you add it all up though, I'm just not that sold. Like, okay, you're the best at throwing very few punches, landing at a high clip, but also being out of range most of the fight against bad opponents. I don't know about that.
Shut the fuck up.
I would hope he stops a guy like Nakatila.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sure it's not an understatement to say that hundreds of thousands, literally, of people turned off ESPN while he was fighting.
Shut the fuck up.
I think he should stop a guy like this. He has to. He has to. I mean, he's not a big one-punch knockout power type of guy.
Shut the fuck up.
There, so just sort of stepping up and getting a little gutty and getting a little risky.
Shut the fuck up.
His fights so far in his career, he's been carefully matched where he's had a reach and height advantage.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm going to say it. Shakur Stevenson is a boring fighter.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sure it's not an understatement to say that hundreds of thousands, literally, of people turned off ESPN while he was fighting.
Put him up! Put him up!
What's good, fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide. It's your guy, Big Will, and I'm back. Man, I'm back to talk this boxing, man. Listen, man, we had a lot of great fights over the past couple weeks, man. But, I wanted to talk about, I'm going to start the show off talking about Shakur Stevenson, man. But before I get into that, man, I just want to say what's up to y'all, man. I ain't seen y'all in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on this movie, Lil Duke Boy, as you all know. So I haven't been able to dig in, you know what I'm saying, and wrap this boxing thing up real good for you, man. But we're finished with the movie. Now we're just editing, doing the final edit, excuse me, and some other business things with it, man. And then I could dedicate myself back to this boxing talk, man. But I just wanted to, let y'all know what was going on and why y'all ain't seen me, and I ain't going nowhere, man. I'm watching all the fights. I keep up with all the news. I just have not been able to dig in and make these videos consistently like I want to, man. But that's all about to end, baby. I'm about to be back on this boxing thing, man, and about to, be back engaging with my fellow boxing connoisseurs, man. Now, Shakur Stevenson, man, he fought this past weekend, man. He went up against Jeremiah Nakatali, and he's receiving a lot of unfair criticism, in my opinion. Now, you all seen at the top of the video, you all heard some of the things that people were saying about Shakur. He's boring. He don't excite nobody. He can't bring a crowd, and his future is not bright. And you're hearing all these type of stuff. He don't like to take chances, and all these things that last fight weren't there. You understand me? You know what I'm saying? Last fight, you had everybody swinging on the vine. That's swinging on his nuts. You understand what I'm saying? And now you got Tim Bradley and what's the other dude's name? Kriegel. Their ESPN crew talking bad about Shakur Stevenson, influencing the audience to jump on this bandwagon. That Shakur is boring. That Shakur, he ain't what everybody thought he was, and yada 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 yada. Man, it's just sad. It's just disheartening. They talking about he don't got no power, and they not sure what he gonna do. You understand what I'm saying? But in my opinion, Stevenson had a very, very solid performance, man. If you get a unanimous decision and win every single round on all three judges' scorecards, get a knockdown in the fourth round, you know, and just look superb doing it. Why is he receiving so much backlash? That's the question. Why is he receiving so much backlash? I just don't understand it. Floyd did it over and over again, and they call it a masterpiece. I mean, some you got your critics who gonna call it boring or whatever, but in overall, you know, boxing pundits knew what they were seeing. They knew that what they were watching was a masterful class in boxing. You know what I'm saying? The objects of the game is to hit and not get hit, man. And that's what Shakur does every single time. They talk about his power. He got a 50% knockout ratio. I think Bradley had 30 something fights and had 13 knockouts. You know what I mean? Come on, Bradley, get out of here. Andre Ward, I think he had like 16 knockouts out of 32 fights. So that's 50%. That's right where Shakur's at right now. But you look at the other 8 opponents, Shakur got 16 opponents. You look at the other 8 opponents, Shakur has won those fights by unanimous decision. So he got 8 knockouts and 8 wins by unanimous decision. And these people say, got all this trash to talk about Shakur Stevenson, man. The guy, Jeremiah Nakatali, he was an awkward dude, man. He was, bouncing all around, kind of remind you of the dude Terrence Crawford won the undisputed championship against. I forget dude's name, man. African guy, man. You know what I'm talking about. But he was like a irky jerky style, man, and all he had was a 1-2. All he was doing was loading up on that right hand. You know what I mean? And Shakur come in, bap, 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 and get out of harm's way. You know what I'm saying? He got a little touched up on his eye. I seen at the end of the fight. Shakur ain't like that, man. He kept looking up at the camera, touching his eye and shit like that. He didn't like that. Shakur does not like to get hit, but when he does get hit, he takes it like a champ. You never seen Shakur wobbling. You never seen him real busted up. You know what I mean? Shakur knows how to fight. He knows how to defend himself. He's the best defensive fighter in the game right now, and that's without a doubt. This guy from Nambia, he came in 2021 and 1 or something like that. What did he come in as? 2021 and 1. One of those fights, he lost. I think he got knocked out. Dude was about 5'9", 5'10". He was bigger than Shakur. I think Shakur's 5'7". You understand what I'm saying? So he was the bigger guy in the fight. Shakur, was the smaller guy, but so he had to adjust his range. You know what I mean? It took him a couple rounds to find out his range, find out his rhythm. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do, man. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do, and all this criticism that has followed is unwarranted, man. You got Tim Bradley, man. That Tim Bradley's disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? Tim Bradley is what you call, that's the true definition of a flip flopper. I think Shakur tweeted out something like, "Damn, Tim, last fight you were just saying I should be on a pound for pound list, that I was, I was the best young fighter coming up, and now you talking about I'm boring and I need to go work on this and work on that." Tim Bradley's a flip flopper, man. You know what I'm saying? I seen him do it to everybody. I seen him do it to Terrence Crawford. I seen him do it to Vasily Lomachenko. I see it do it to Canelo. It seemed like every time one of those guys fight, they're the best. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's the best. He's the best. He's the best. And this person ain't number one until he do what Lomachenko does, until he do what Terrence Crawford does, until he do what Canelo Alvarez does. Every week, it's a different thing with Tim Bradley. So you can't take nothing that this dude say seriously, man. You can't. You understand what I'm saying? You just can't. And I get sick of hearing Tim Bradley, man. In my opinion, they give too much of a personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, you don't see other networks. You don't see the guys at Showtime. You didn't see the guys at HBO, the guys at the Zone. You don't see them dogging their own fighters as much as you see Tim Bradley do. You know what I'm saying? He just dogs some of the home, you know what I mean, the A-side fighters for his network. I don't know what's that about, all about. Maybe you have some personal issues going on behind the scenes that the public is not made aware, but Timothy Bradley definitely needs to keep his personal feelings out as much as he does. You know what I mean? I mean, it's okay to insert your opinion here and there, but when you're just over and over dissing the premier fighter that everybody came to see, you know what I'm saying? You're going to influence the audience. You're going to, you know, have people jump on the bandwagon. As you've seen, all Tim Bradley was talking about was, you know, how boring Shakur was, that he was ready to fall asleep. And the public jumped right on that. As you've seen on Twitter, as you've seen on other social media platforms, man, you know, and it's disgusting, man. Tim Bradley needs to shut the up. You know, he talked too goddamn much. And Andre Ward, he's sitting there. He's the former manager, co-manager of Shakur Stevenson. Nobody knows what happened there. But maybe Ward has a little animosity about that, a little, you know, he's a little angry about that. We don't know what happened. But, you know, Andre Ward sitting there straddling the fence, you know, don't want to say he's boring, but don't want to say that he's doing a good job. You know what I mean? So he's saying, I want to see him do more. Could Shakur have done more? Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. But what he did was superb. It was superb, man. You know, so all them critics, man, I pay them no attention, and I advise you, the viewers, to you know what I mean, the be a self thinker, man. You know, don't fall into these guys' narratives, man. Judge for yourself, man. Look back at the fight and see what the guy did. Like I said, the guy won every single round. Knocked the dude down in the fourth. Where does that warrant all this bad backlash and criticism and bullshit that these dudes is talking, man? You know what I mean? Where does it warrant that? It's crazy, dog. It's crazy. Now, what's next for Shakur? Obviously, he wants Jamel Herring. Now, Jamel Herring, you know, everybody talks about his service to the country, and you know what I mean. I think that's a damn good thing that he have done. You know what I mean. But in my opinion, Jamel Herring never been an A-level fighter to me. You know, he never been an A-level fighter. Um, you know, even Shakur called him a B-level fighter at best. You know what I mean? And I think he was dead on with that, man. You know, he got 2 losses on his record. He was knocked out in 2016 by Denis Shafikov. I forget how you say his name, man. But he was knocked out by him in 2016. He lost a unanimous decision against Ladarius Miller back in 2017. And then he got with Brian Bomac McIntyre, the trainer of the great, yeah, I said great, Terrence Bud Crawford. And ever since he's been with Bomac, he's won like 7, 8 straight, you know what I mean, including becoming world champion. Now, Bomac has been able to sharpen up some skills with him, you know what I mean, make them more disciplined, make them, you know, be able to follow the game plan. And I think a lot of that has to do with being up there with Bud Crawford, who we know he's a gym rat. We know he does things the right way. And, you know, everybody praising him, talking about number 1 pound for pound, and Jamel Herring right next to him, training with him. That's going to boost your confidence. That's going to boost your ability to go in there and want to execute the game plan better, man. Because you know what I mean, you want to be looked at as, you know, in the company of Bud Crawford. You know, and I think that has helped his game tremendously. But you got to look at the situation, man. Jamel Herring's 35 years old. You know, his best win to date was Carl Frampton. Cole Frampton, he's a good fighter, but he's a small guy. I think he 5'5". Um, Herring's 5'10". You know what I mean? If I don't believe that he had that many fights at the weight. He was a featherweight. A couple fights ago, he was a featherweight. You know what I mean? So I expected Herring to be bigger and stronger than Frampton. You know what I mean? Although a lot of people had Frampton as the favorite, I just didn't see Frampton as that guy. I thought he was too small, which proved to be accurate, man. Herring just boxed a beautiful fight. That jab was on point, sticking him, sticking him, sticking him, sticking him. And his power and size proved to be detrimental to Cole Frampton. And, uh, Frampton couldn't take it, man. And Jamel ended up knocking him out, getting the win. But as far as him and Shakur, man, I think Shakur knows that he got his number. He's been sparring with him up there because he spends a lot of time with Bud Crawford in their gym. You know what I mean? So those two are around the same weight. Of course, I know they have many and plenty of rounds sparring. And Shakur knows he got his number. And I do believe Jamel knows that Shakur got his number, but he's not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? And, sparring's not a real fight. So that's what he's holding on to, man. And you got to hold on to something like, sparring's not a real fight. You got to keep that in his mind. You know what I'm saying? That when they jump in there into the real match, that things will go differently in a real match. So I really expect that fight to come off next. But we'll see. Then he called out Oscar Valdez. Now him and Valdez is a little more, comparable to size. You know what I'm saying? Although I think Shakur may be an inch or so, inch and a half taller than Valdez. I think Valdez definitely holds the edge on the experience. Valdez is 29-0. He got 25 fights, man. And I think that Valdez is a animal. You know what I mean? 29 fights with 23 KOs. Valdez is coming with some power, but he's also a smaller guy coming up. You know what I mean? Shakur's a smaller guy coming up. That's why I say they're very comparable. Both of them have a 66 inch reach, which is, right on point. But Shakur is a southpaw, and I think that, that's an advantage for him. Valdez has some really good names on his resume that stand out. He had a really tough fights, like the win over Adam Lopez. Adam Lopez came in, I believe it was a short camp, short notice, and I don't think Valdez was prepared for Lopez. He kind of slept on him, and Lopez came in there and fought a beautiful fight, man. Think he dropped Valdez, in the fight. But Valdez is a gritty, hungry, rough fighter, man, and he was able to come back and win that fight. He would win that fight. Same thing when he fought Scott Quigg, man. Scott Quigg broke his jaw early on. I mean, like third, fourth round, that early. You know what I mean? And Valdez was able to bite down on his gum shield and come back and win that fight. Get a unanimous decision in that fight, man. Valdez ain't no joke, man. And then what he did last fight to win the WBC title at the weight was against Burchell, who a lot of people said was the best in the division. Valdez came in my opinion, and had the best performance of his career against Burchell. He was just punishing Burchell, man, throwing all type of hooks and combinations. The footwork was definitely on point, and you got to credit that to Eddie Reynoso, man. You got to credit it to Eddie Reynoso. Nobody knew that Valdez can follow the game plan, because usually when Valdez get hit, he does what he knows best, and that is to brawl. But in a fight with Burchell, he showed that he can stick with the game plan, go in there and and win a fight by following the instructions of his trainer. And I think that's a very, very good thing. And I think the fight between him and Shakur Stevenson is the one to watch at 130, man. I think those two dudes, man. I don't know how that fight, would go, man. You got the rough and tough style of Valdez, and he's coming, he's throwing hard shots, and then you got the sweet science of Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean, with the ability to hit and not get hit. Shakur got some devastating knockouts on his resume, also. So all this talk about he's not a puncher and all that, man. Shakur got power. You know what I mean? He definitely got power, and that's the fight I want to see next for Shakur, is Valdez. But unfortunately, I think that it's going to be Herring. And after Herring, I think that Valdez will be more willing to fight him, because it'll be a unification matchup, and that's more enticing for the legacy of both fighters. And we'll see what happens, man. What else we got on the chopping block, man? We got Javante Tank Davis going up in weight to challenge the WBA. He's the regular champion at the weight at super lightweight. Mario Barrios. Now this fight here definitely came from left field, man. I did not see this fight coming. My thing is that, as you all know, people who watch my channel, I'm a huge Javante Davis fan, man. And my thing was, when I first heard this fight, I'm like, damn, why are you going after Barrios? That's a tough fight, man. Barrios ain't no pushover. Even though you look at his record, there's not many names on his record that pops out at you, but he's a beast. He's a beast. Just go look at his fight back in 2019 against Akhmedov. That fight was that'll tell you all you need to know about Mario Barrios. I mean, that fight was life and death, back and forth action, man, and it just showed the grit and the toughness of Mario Barrios, man. And I think that's going to be a hell of a fight. You got Tank coming up in weight. Barrios is 5'10". Tank is 5'5", 5'6". The reach, Tank is like 66 and a half. I think Barrios is something like 71. So Barrios got all the advantages here. You know what I'm saying? Except when you look at the power and the explosiveness of Javante Tank Davis. And that's what he's banking on. He's banking on his power and his hunger and his explosiveness to get him through this fight, man. And I'm definitely anxious to see this fight. Goes down June 26th. That's real soon. It's going down in Atlanta, I believe, man. Last time Tank had a big turnout in Atlanta, so I expect the same thing to go on here. Everybody talked about how Tank, always bringing these little guys up and things like that, and Tank is hearing this. Tank is hearing this, so he's looking at the landscape. He's looking at all the other guys at 130 and 135, and all the elite fighters are tied up. Or tied up in fights. So he's like, damn, I don't want to fight another, I'll just say easier opponent. Let me do something that's out of the box, that'll shock the people. I'm going to go up to 140. My last fight was at 130. I'm going to go up to 140 and take on this dangerous, bigger, stronger Mario Barrios. And I think Tank should be more commended on that. Not enough people is giving Tank credit for that, man. Tank deserves a lot of credit for going up and waiting, fighting Barrios. You know what I'm saying? And should he be able to knock Barrios out in dramatic fashion as he did 23 of his 24 opponents? I think, man, the boxing world has to put respect on Tank Davis's name. Has to. Got to. You know what I'm saying? I think he's very disrespected in the sport by a lot of people. And I just want Tank to show everybody that he is the guy that he says he is, that everybody who rides with him says he is. And after this fight, I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses from nobody. He's jumping up two weight classes to fight a much bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? And should he do what he has done, like I said, to 23 out of the 24 opponents he has faced, you got to respect him. You better respect him. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that fight, man. And then we got Spence Pacquiao Spence coming up this summer, man. You know what I mean? Man, now that's a fight right there that that's a super fight. It's definitely a super fight. We all know that Bud Crawford um, was trying to get that fight bad. Bob Arum is just, Bob Arum don't want to spend no money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to call him a bad promoter, because Bob has done some great things in his career. But this last half of his career, Bob Arum is definitely on the down slope, man. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to spend money to make these big fights, man. You got these great fighters who people are calling pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound. And you're not willing to pay nobody to come over and fight. You know what I mean? When you got a guy that the world considers the pound for pound king, you want to see him fight the best. You want to see him fight who everybody says is the next best thing, man. You know what I mean? Earl Spence and Crawford, that fight should have been happened. There's a lot of talk of whose fault is it? Is it Crawford's fault? Is it Spence's fault? You know what I mean? All that's irrelevant, man, because the fight's not made. Bob came out and said that he stopped the Pacquiao fight between Crawford. First, he said Pacquiao's his friend. He didn't want to see his friend hurt. Now, recently, he come out and say that he didn't want to lose the money by paying Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He knew that he would lose money on that fight. So Terence Crawford, his contract with Top Rank is ending in October, I believe. And we'll see what he does, if he re-ups with Bob, or if he goes to PBC, or does he start his own promotional company and go off on his own, like many others have done after leaving Bob and have been tremendously successful. But the fight between Spence and Manny Pacquiao, everybody got Spence winning, myself included. But you got to look, man. I had Thurman smashing Pacquiao too. I called for it. I said Thurman's going to stop Pacquiao. He was the younger, hungrier, fresher fighter. You know what I mean? Undefeated. Manny Pacquiao, he was 40 at the time. I just didn't see a way that Pacquiao was going to beat Thurman. And credit to him, he found a way. He created that flash knockdown in the first round, which I think caught Thurman off guard and made him change his whole game plan, trying to get that round back. He threw his game plan out the window trying to get that round back, although he had a tremendous second half. Tremendous. And I think had that body shot have not come in the 10th round, I think Thurman would have won. But I still say that Thurman could have got a draw out of that fight. But I'm not mad at the decision that Manny Pacquiao won. Now against Spence, it's a different animal. It's a different animal. I do believe Spence is more durable than Keith Thurman. I believe Spence is more hungrier than Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that, I believe Spence gets hit more than Thurman. So I believe he's there for Manny Pacquiao to hit him. And we all know Manny Pacquiao can punch. And his only chance, in my opinion, Manny Pacquiao's only chance to win this fight would be to catch Spence and hurt him. Catch Spence with something he don't see and hurt him. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be hard to do, in my opinion, but it can be done because Earl, he does get hit. He likes to fight. You know what I mean? He likes to fight. But we also seen, man, we seen so many different facets of Spence's game, so many different tools in a toolbox in Spence's game that I wouldn't be surprised if he fought another style that we haven't seen from him. You know what I mean? He went toe to toe with Porter. He just went beat Danny Garcia up. Didn't let Danny Garcia get started at any point in that fight. You know what I mean? Excuse me. And Mikey Garcia, he just outboxed him to where Mikey Garcia just couldn't do nothing. Couldn't win a round. Couldn't win a round, man. That's the type of Spence uh, that we're going to see, hopefully, come August. We're going to see a Spence that, is coming to win. We're going to see a Manny Pacquiao that's going to come and win. Manny Pacquiao's now 42 years old, and everybody's wondering, does Manny Pacquiao have one more fabulous night? Can he be great one more time? And we're going to see, man. We're going to see come August, man. And I can't wait for that one. These fights, man, that we got this summer is just crazy. And Wilder and Fury versus Wilder 3. Man, oh man, I cannot wait for that fight, man. The press conference kicked off yesterday, and people are bewildered by Wilder's silence. You know what I mean? But Wilder did exactly what I expected him to do. I think he did the best thing, which is not say much. You know what I mean? Not say much, especially over all the controversy and all the bad things that the boxing writers and the Fury fans and those other guys had to say. They had a lot of bad things to say about Wilder, and Wilder did not give them any ammunition, to use against them. And they're mad about that. You know what I mean? But I think Wilder's locked in like we never seen him. His confidence is soaring. You know what I mean? It's soaring. And these people thought that Deontay Wilder was depressed. You know what I mean? I don't see a depressed man. I just don't see it. The way he's talking, the moves that he's making, the way he carries himself is like a person full of confidence, man. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, is one hell of a dude, man. And not just talking about boxing, man. You could just hear it in the interviews and the things that he's talking about and the passion that he uses to express himself about the things that's important to him, man, is just real encouraging, man. You know what I'm saying? It's real encouraging. And I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan. You know what I mean? And I expect something different, man, in this fight. The first fight was much different, and the second fight was much different, and this third fight, I believe, will be much different. Fury saying he's trying to get up to 300 pounds because he want to just come in there, use no movement, come straight forward, and knock Deontay Wilder out. We watching the videos with Deontay and Malik Scott, and I gotta say, man, Deontay looks good. The footwork looks good. The combination looks good. The lateral movement looks good, man. If he could put that together in the ring come fight night, Tyson Fury in trouble, fam. Tyson Fury is in trouble, fam. You know what I mean? I think Tyson Fury he knows what Wilder is capable of. He said it plenty and many of times, as his dad have said, Wilder's a dangerous fighter. He knows this. You know what I mean? But he's also confident that, from the last fight that he can knock Wilder out. You know what I'm saying? But the big thing is Fury. If you can't cheat, if you can't put those egg weights in your gloves, and you can't have your glove flipping and flopping and whatever you did that night, if you cannot do those things, because they're going to be on you like a hawk, you dig me? They're going to be watching you like a hawk. And if you can't do those things, where does your confidence go? You know what I'm saying? Do we see a much different fight than last time. Sugar Hill said that he has turned Tyson Fury into a one-punch knockout artist. Fury hasn't, like Malik Scott said, Fury hasn't done all this in the past, man. He was never known as a puncher. Now all of a sudden he's a one-punch knockout artist. We'll see. You know, and a lot of people got their reservations about did Tyson Fury cheat and how it was so impossible. And I know movies is Hollywood, but you see in movies how these mafia and cartel people, they make shit happen. They grease the right palms and intimidate the right people to make what they want to happen happen. And him dealing with that Canahan, who from Ireland, who's supposed to be some big type mobster cartel dude or whatever you want to call him. He has a lot of influence. He has a very, very long reach. So don't tell me that the shit can't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that dude has enough money, enough influence. Like I said, a long reach where he can make anything he want happen. You know what I mean? And we'll have to see what happens this fight, man. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Like I said, I'm with the Bomb Squad, baby. I'm with the Bomb Squad, and I'm looking for him to come out there and show the world that he can become a two-time champion, that he can overcome adversity. You understand what I'm saying? But hey, man, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Like I said, I'm working on this movie, Little Duke Boy. When I'm finished with it, I'm gonna let you all know, man. I hope I have all of y'all support, and I want you to check it out. But I plan to be back into this boxing thing more consistently real soon, man. But in the meantime and in between time, I want y'all to stay blessed, fam, and keep on supporting this sport we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.
Put 'em up. Put 'em up.